she's running for re-election like she always does. And she has an opponent, a very solid lady who ran against her before and is running against her again. Her name is Karen Harrington. Karen Harrington, how are you?
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Doing very well. Now, this Debbie Wasserman Schultz, do the people in her district, I mean, I know she wins 60-40 last time, but do all the people in the district know what a menace she is?
Well, you know, now that she's the part-time DNC chair and basically hanging out in Iowa today, and she's the part-time congresswoman, but basically she's America's full-time problem. And I think as we continue to campaign this year, people are recognizing that she doesn't, follow the philosophies of this great nation of growing this economy, of creating jobs, and she stands unequivocally by the president. Remember, just a few months back, she strictly said, we own the economy.
And also remember, she doesn't even stand by her own views. She voted to take $500 billion out of Medicare.
Yes, and that's another big issue we have facing us is the Obamacare. And it's, as we look at the legislation, it includes many things besides taking over our health care. It's going to take over student loans. It's going to force additional taxes when you sell your house. It's going to force you to make all of your products in your home green under the regulations that this government continues to grow. So it's a mess, and it does take $500 billion from Medicare, and that's something that we as conservatives are trying to save for our seniors.
I'm talking to Karen Harrington. She's a Republican running against Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Your website is firedebbie.com, is that correct?
Yes, it is, and we feel that we're going to take this movement across America because not only here in South Florida is Debbie a problem for us, and I can tell you in Dade County alone last month, our unemployment numbers went up to 13.9%. So we believe someone like Debbie, who's never held a job in the private sector, definitely needs to be fired because I'm a small business owner, and I know what it takes to run a business and balance a budget and make payroll, and it greatly affects us when we have to fire people because of the economy, and it's about time she knows what that feels like.
So you have about 14% unemployment in Dade County, and she's in Iowa, busy eating a fried, what do they eat there? What is it, fried butter? By the way, who the hell eats that? But that's a whole other story. Yeah, very busy with the fried butter and the, and whatever. Is she milking cows there too, do we know, Karen?
I don't know what she's doing out there, but what she needs to do is be home in the district answering to the people here as to why all of the policies that she has embraced, including the stimulus, have failed our country. But instead she's out there. And as usual, she just offers nothing but rhetoric. I mean, I support the cut, cap, and balance, and she supports nothing. So if that's our plan moving forward, her plan must be to raise, spend, and bankrupt this nation. And she needs to be home here in the district, looking at the businesses that are closed up and down the street and why our unemployment numbers are so high. She doesn't need to be out in Iowa spying on us.
It's not only that. It's like she spends a lot of her time in other districts, like attacking Allen West, and she's got plenty of time on her hands to be everywhere but in her district, doesn't she?
Yes, well, because she doesn't think that her seat is one that's going to be opposed. Somebody with that mentality that thinks she's in a safe district is that elitist career politician that the American people are fed up with. And that's why I'm going to work extremely hard to continue to campaign against her and tell people that they have a real alternative, a real person who has the same experiences in business and regulations and taxes and fees that people like her are too busy in Washington imposing on all of us.
And she's a particularly nasty person, just the way she talks and the way she treats me. Tell me, Karen Harrington running against Debbie Wasserman Schultz in Florida, you're the Republican. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I've lived here in South Florida for almost 45 years. My family and I, we've proud owners of our 3 restaurants we have for 37 years, and I've been helping to run those for 30 years.
What's the name of those restaurants?
Oh, thanks, Mark. It's Ricky's Restaurant.
What kind of food do you serve?
Well, we're a family-owned and operated like sports bar, cafe, American food, but we actually started chicken wings 1978. We followed my mother's recipe with the hot sauce, And so we were one of the first real big chicken wing connoisseurs, I should say, across the country.
Do you have desserts, too?
Yes, we do. We specialize in a great key lime pie.
Oh, my God. I should be down there right now. But anyway, Karen, so you've been a small businesswoman for some time, 3 restaurants. So all these regulations like Obamacare and this, that, and the other, with the food and the this, I mean, you have first-hand experience with all this.
Absolutely, and under this president, I don't know if people are aware, it's kind of a hidden tax that we as business owners have to pass on to the consumers, and this president has imposed almost $50 billion in his first 2.5 years. In fact, I'm being forced to change over my software to, the regulations of the government because they said my system isn't secure enough to protect against credit card fraud. So yes, every time we turn around, there's a new regulation, a new fee, and unfortunately, we have to pass that cost.
All right, so let's slow down. You have 3 restaurants, and there's a federal regulation forcing you to change your software?
Yes.
Where does that come from?
Well, it's called, you have to be what's called PCI compliant. And as you know, there's a lot of credit card fraud in the world, but, we've been in business 37 years. We've never had it happen to us.
But we also know they're tapping in the government computers left and right.
Yes, and it's the one-size-fits-all mentality, and they don't realize the trickle-down effect of the small business owners that are trying to survive in this tough economy, what it does to us.
You sound like you're going to be a great candidate. I know you ran before, right?
Yes.
And remember, Ronald Reagan had to run 3 times. So I'm very impressed with you. What is Debbie Wasserman Schultz's background?
She doesn't have any kind of private sector experience. Let's just say she's been a career politician her entire life.
Yeah. What was she before Congress, do you know?
Well, she's represented me in some fashion for over 20 years, Mark, either at the local level or at the state level and then the federal level.
So you've been poorly represented for a very long time.
A very long time.
She ever been to any of your restaurants, do you know?
Actually, she has. Back in the mid-2000s, she's been there a few times, but her and her husband, Steve, and the kids, they've eaten at the restaurant plenty of times, but I can honestly say, since I entered the election last year, they haven't been in.
Okay. Well, listen, your website is firedebbie.com. I don't want to harm you. I don't know a lot about this district, but I'd like to endorse you if it helps you.
Oh, that would be fantastic, Mark. I would consider that an honor.
Well, it's my honor to endorse you. This is Karen Harrington, and her website is firedebbie.com. We're putting it on my social sites if you want to give her some support. I can't think of a better person to run against Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and let's keep her busy in her district. But today, there she is. She's in Iowa, eating fried butter, and I assume milking goats or cows or something. All right, my friend Karen Harrington, it's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you again so much, Mark. I appreciate it.
All right, good luck. Hello, my friends. Mark Levin here.